Hello fellow language learning nerds. In today's video I would like to talk about a few of the little bits of Japanese that I've been kind of struggling with lately, the things that have been really kind of annoying me and I've been having a bit of trouble with. Is this a video to try and have some language relatable content for any fellow language learners out there, in which we can be like, yes, this is something we're having trouble with too? Or is it a video in which I'm just a cranky Brit complaining about stuff? Could be one of those things, could be both of those things. First off, not surprising if you've seen my last few videos, the main thing I've been having trouble with is listening, because of course I've been having trouble with listening. I've said before that this is something that I've always had trouble with. It's my weakest skill. And so yeah, I've been recently trying to do a bit more listening, and I'm very much at that stage of listening to someone go on for like a paragraph just talking, say, and the very first word they might say, I'm like, oh, I know that word, wait, I know that word, it sounds really familiar. Does it mean this? I guess it could mean this. Or I might have to look that up later in the dictionary. Oh, I've missed the last couple of minutes of whatever they've been talking about. It's really annoying. But maybe to try and counteract that, maybe I should try and listen to some stuff if it's a TV show or a movie. I might have to do that thing where I have the scene on repeat a few times, so eventually each word I have a bit of trouble with, you know, that gets in my head, and then I can get onto the second word that I have trouble with, and then the third and the fourth. It's slow, but it's important and I need to do it. There's been a few vocabulary that I've been having trouble with. This is just a thing that happens. Sometimes you'll get a new word and it will just stick in your head straight away and you'll have barely any trouble trying to remember what it is. Sometimes, I don't know, you just get lucky like that with. Other words you might have to practice a few times, hear it a few times before it wants to actually live inside your head. And then there are some words that are just being stubborn. One of these for me is hitsuyo, which means along the lines of like necessary, needed, essential, but I keep needing to look up this word. I have a little workbook that I go through, and that's where I've been learning the word from, where I've been trying to learn it. And yeah, I swear, all the other words in that same sheet I've kind of gotten used to. They're in my head now. I feel comfortable with them. And then there's that word keeps coming up and I'm like, ah! Then there's also another two words. These two come in a pair because they sound very similar to each other. Ryu and ryo. One kind of meaning reason and the other one kind of meaning use. Oh, I don't know why these words are so stubborn. The kanjis look completely different from each other. But in the workbook that I use, it doesn't use the kanji, it uses the hiragana, and it wants you to turn it into kanji. And I always have to look it up. I swear I've looked at these words like 50 times, and I still get in my head. There's also two kanji, another pair. The first one I came across a long time ago, meaning like not yet. And not that long ago, I learnt another one, meaning end. Don't they look similar? They're gonna stick in my head eventually. All of these vocabulary and kanji are gonna stick in my head. I just have to deal with it, you know? I just have to keep on trying. They will live there. They're just being stubborn. My last one is reading. I love reading. I've got a lot of books over there. And as someone who loves reading, one of the things I'm having trouble with is when I get to a part, say in the manga that I'm reading, that I just struggle with. Like sometimes there'll be a page where I will have to spend a good 20 to 30 minutes, I don't know, more or less depending on what sort of kanji or vocabulary is being used. I have to spend such a long time trying to get through it. And then when I do get through it, I might turn the page and then I might comparatively breeze through the next couple of pages and it feels so good. But it's just that segment, that page Even sometimes it might just be a panel that I just really struggle with sometimes. It's natural, it's going to happen, right? But as someone who loves reading and who can get through a book quite quickly, it can be really frustrating. I mean, just the other week I started reading Wolf Hall and I'm getting through that pretty quickly. Let me show you. Right there. Woo! Big chunk of the book. I managed to get through that quite quickly, but that's in English, you know? So that's kind of more the speed that I'm used to reading at. So I feel that feeds into the frustrations of, you know, even if I spend the exact amount of time on both, say, an English book and a Japanese book, I'm gonna be way ahead in the English one. It's just annoying. That's just a woe is me, I can't read fast enough, if that's what it feels like, I guess. I'm currently reading this, because yes, I promised I would have this finished by the end of last month, and I didn't do that! But so while that was a bit of a disappointment, and I did suffer through those parts of, you know, getting to a part where it's just, I'm really struggling with the page, and I feel like throwing the manga across the room. But there have been quite a few parts where I have been able to get through it at a much more comfortable rate. And the time I have spent trying to read through this and get through it, I have gotten through more than what I assumed I was going to be able to get through in that given amount of time. I guess to put a positive spin on it, not all of it was frustrating. While I was reading this, I also found that the live action movie is Promised Neverland, by the way. The live action movie was on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that's fun, I'll just put that on the background. Please don't watch that movie, it's terrible. Speaking of watching stuff, I also watched Mars Red, the anime, the other week. I finished watching that. Also don't recommend it. I need a new anime. I need good anime stuff. I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Well, I got a little bit sidetracked and off topic at the end, but those are just a couple of things that very recently have been frustrating me. There's been some vocabulary and kanji that have been too similar or refusing to get in my head. There's been frustrations with listening and my brain just not being able to recall meanings of words fast enough, so I lose a lot of listening opportunity just trying to figure out that one word. And then also with reading, some frustrations where sometimes reading is flowing nicely and then you just kind of hit this really dense fog and you can't get through it very quickly. It's just a little bit annoying. But I think it's something that all of us have. I'm sure like in a month or two, maybe I'll have different frustrations, but you're going to have frustrations throughout learning languages, aren't you, really? There's always going to be something that's a bit tricky, something, you know, as soon as you get over one hurdle, there's going to be another one coming up. Though if there's anything that in particular has been bugging you, please do let me know, because it would be nice to feel like I'm not so alone. It's good to know that there's others in a similar boat, I guess. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on. I mostly stayed on topic. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on about my frustrations. It felt good to kind of get them out. Hopefully, I'll try to make another Japanese diary video, one where I just try and speak a bit of Japanese, you know, just to get some language practice out there. I've only done one so far, and I would like to do another one. You know, they're a little bit scary, but I'm going to try and do that for the next video. Well, whenever I manage to get that video out, I hope to see you next time in that next video. But for now, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little like or a comment, maybe even a cheeky subscribe, that would be much appreciated. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.